good morning, good afternoon, and possibly even good evening, SG. We are going to be broadcasting another race from the ALTTPR Open League Season 4 playoffs. Today, we have Sean Rhapsody of Swordbeam Club versus Brev of In Rod We Trust. This is the second game in the series. Last night, we had the first game between CJ for Swordbeam and BSJ of In Rod We Trust. CJ taking that race in quite an interesting one that was broadcast over on the ALTTPR League channels. But as I said, today we are getting the Cross Keys matchup. So this is our Wisdom Pendant for today. I am Radical Sniper 99. I'll be doing your comms this morning, and I am joined, of course, with trackers Daruk and Akuhaish. So we will try to keep you as up to date as possible on all of the findings, the goings on, and the goal here. If you are unfamiliar with the league, the Open League specifically, it was comprised of 64 teams divided up into 8 divisions. The top 2 teams from every division that made the playoffs. After that, this first round is our division finals. So you have to play the other team from your division to go further. The big prize for these teams, of course, is they want to make the top 4, be the last 4 alive, because that guarantees you an invite to next year's Invitational League. And we are off. Sean Rhapsody finding a cape in the Sanctuary, and Brev is also going to start there. And great Sank start location out in Kakariko Village. Really makes getting through Kakariko or back to Kakariko a lot nicer. So Brev showing us a connector, gonna at least go through it. Sean finding a 20 rupee cave. And wow, there's a connector over to the desert area. But nothing over in Agina's cave. And it looks like we are at least gonna get, we're not gonna get the scout actually. I thought maybe we get an early scouting of the desert ledge, but instead Brev is going to head over to this desert area entrance cave and possibly even go over to the dam. Sean also giving us a look at, I believe that was tier 1, and it is $20. Nothing there in the desert cave, and our drop down in the Cack Woods is the useless fairy drop down, so we will not be seeing that again. That's not exactly an entrance we want to see as a drop down. Unfortunately, that does mean at least one item will be locked behind the pyramid, as well as something locked behind Aga. Bushcrab's not really helping out with only single rupees today. Both runners checking that about the same time. Sean in the back of the Lost Woods, though, finding the Waterfall Fairy, gets a map and a small key to Palace of Darkness. Brev setting up for the fake flipper. Nicely done. It looks like we will be getting a potion shop check and possibly even an early Houlihan. And our Lumberjack is possibly one of the best things it could be. It is our Uncle Drop Down. And Potion Shop today is Mini Moldorm Cave. So really nice find there. Unfortunately, with no bombs and no weapon, we're a little bit of a loss as Sean does find that big key to Eastern Palace. And I have been told that the pronunciation is Breve. So my mistake. Apologies to Breve on that one. And Link's House giving us a sword. Nice little find there. We did have the Cackwell as well over in by that fairy drop down. I did see a big key to Swamp Palace, and it looks like a small key to Misery Mire. The big find, of course, Sean getting that early sword. And unfortunately, Breve not having any bombs at this point does kind of leave us at a little bit of a loss for being able to check the rest of that. And our Hyrule Castle is the Spiral Cave, so Sean is going to give a look over to our Hyrule Castle. Uncle spot. And the uncle is the thief drop down. He will scout this, hoping that it might be something. Okay, so it's just a heart container. I can't imagine Sean's going to go back for that one. But at this point, he doesn't have to worry about this. We'll definitely go through Spiral Cave. Breve, meanwhile, starting at Link's house, getting that sword. So good find there.
Hello.
And it looks like we have a co-com now. I've been joined by Star. How's it going?
Not bad, you?
Good.
Just tuning in. I haven't seen a single thing of this. How is this going? I see you already have a cape and a sword. Not too bad.
Yeah, Breve did find Mini Moldorm Cave, but didn't have that sword, and we have an early find of Ganon's Tower.
That's a nice one. I know you said you weren't able to track entrances earlier, but
I will be now, a little bit.
Yeah, I'll see if I can take notes. There's Master Sword and Hope Room as well as a mirror. Alright, that's some good finds.
Yeah, great finds for an early in Cross Keys. Mirror is probably one of the most powerful items, and Spiral Cave does bring us to the top of the mountain. Uh, 50 Rupee Cave at the top there as our top of Super Bunny. We're going to get a check of that medallion. Just Ether, though, for Turtle Rock. Not a huge deal. Usually we don't worry about that kind of information.
Oh, back of Skull Woods here for Sean. Small key to Hyrule Castle on the bottle vendor.
Yeah, and Sean going to go with that Fairy Revival or Bunny Revival to get the chest here under the bridge. It is, of course, out of logic. Bunny Revivals are not expected, but you always like the opportunity to find that out or get that.
Oh, for sure. Brave finding one of the entrances to Hyrule Castle here, going to check out the escape.
Yeah, and with that small key, it'll, we know that most of this is in logic, or at least all of this to Zelda cells in logic. Just more of a question of, how much do you want to do? I imagine we will go to Dark Cross after getting to Zelda's cell, though.
I imagine so, yes. Brewery here.
Yeah, brewery, and unfortunately, without that mirror, we can't even go for the mirror glitch.
Correct, Drastic. This is in fact cross keys, so this is both keys full key sanity as well as cross keys entrance randomizer. Do you want to discuss about what actually that means?
Sure. A cross-world entrance randomizer is an entrance variant. What happens is that the basic idea is if you go into a connector in one area and you come out of it, it could be in the opposite world. So you could enter somewhere in Light World and end up in Dark World in the opposite side. All the entrances are shuffled. The only things that are really still coupled together in this mode are the drop downs. So like the Lost Woods drop down and that entrance there at the tree stump will still be paired to the same place. So a nice little piece of information to have there. We are still looking, of course, for Ganon.
Yep. And by the way, Brave did find a moon pearl there in the front of Escape. Sean finding not a whole lot of anything in the back of Escape, though. Up is the swamp. Okay.
Yeah, and Breve getting the rest of the resources to just mirror to the front. And I'm surprised we're not going to...
Green pendant. Okay, so that's good info. Saha's being in CAC today.
I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of this play to go check an entrance before doing Dark Cross.
Small key on the floating island.
Because I'd be a little worried about the idea of coming out and being on some Dark World side and then going to Dark Cross when it's, the enemies all hit a lot harder.
Yeah. I know. Okay, so Brave came in, I think, through the left side of Hyrule Castle. I don't know if we've seen a main entrance yet. Right, Hyrule Castle takes us to Bumper Ledge. Actually, that's a pretty good one. The Light World entrance can be very hard to get to at times. And okay.
And unfortunately, Breve's still bombless. So really having a tough time here.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate there's a key to Hyrule Castle for Sean. And Brave is going to go on over here to see what this is. Oh, and that's connected to checkerboard here for Sean. Nothing on Brave's side.
Yeah, we did get to see this from Breve a little bit. We did not see that small key, though, from Breve. Breve just went straight to Agina and eventually towards the dam.
Yeah. Alright, here's the uncle for Breve. Sean checking out. That's nothing. Does he get the big key to Eastern in the uncle chest?
I think the only drop down we have not seen in Light World is the Sanctuary. So we're between
We
Sanctuary.
have seen that. That's in
Oh,
the.
have we?
That's
No,
in.
so I'm sorry. I mean the actual Sanctuary entrance.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, we've seen the Sanctuary
Of
itself.
course.
Yeah.
But we're down to 2 options for Ganon, if I'm not mistaken.
I've gotten a little bit late, but I assume one of them is Magic Bat, and I noticed it when the others
Oh, you know what? We haven't seen Magic Bat either. My bad. There are 3 still left.
Okay, so Magic Bat, Vanilla, and what's the third then? Sank?
The Sanctuary, yes.
Alright. Fire Shed here for Sean. Turns up a whole lot of nothing.
I mean, getting that 7th heart this early doesn't feel too bad.
Oh.
The world is dangerous, and I feel better having health. But at Curiosity Shop, we do find the bottom of Paradox Cave. Unfortunately, okay, so gonna have to be a little careful here, but able to get that. Still no bombs. Oh my gosh, bailed with a bomb and another sword. And more
Hey,
bombs.
yep. And Bombos, alright. And a book. Okay. That's a pretty good Paradox Cave.
Yeah, at 11 minutes, we have 3 swords. I don't think you can ask for much more. Meanwhile,
No.
Sean into Hyrule Castle, gonna get that
Oh
Master
my
Sword.
goodness. And a flute and the. Really, game? Really? Okay. Paradox just having everything for us, apparently.
Apparently, and I am very curious about the logic for that, all those items, because what we do know is that that was out of logic to go through that block.
Yes. This house north of the village, giving us bottom of Spectral Rock, it looks like. Yeah.
Yes, we are going to get to see this item. I don't think Breve follows this. I pick up the bombs for sure, but I would not take the drop down. Took long enough to get to this area.
I think you leave it for now, yeah, as Sean picks up his Moon Pearl.
And given Sean's at 7 hearts, I have to imagine we see Dark Cross on his side.
I think so. I could see Breve skipping it on low health, but Sean should be able to get through there. Light World equivalent here is, well, Ruby Game. Nah.
Yeah, not even the best one.
Yeah, early tempered is really, really nice. The first cross key seed, the earliest cross key seed I ever saw, had no weaponry at all for like 20 plus minutes and no swords until even longer than that.
Now, Sean, of course, still without that mirror, so really having to exploit the death warp here, unfortunately, but does get it done and gets the chest. And we are now seeing the front of Skull Woods.
Yep. This is... The entrances are only shuffled amongst themselves in cross keys. Makes things a little bit easier.
Yeah, it has to do with kind of what we were saying earlier about those drop downs and their entrances being coupled, because Skull Woods is just what I would call a rat's nest of drop downs and entrances. They are all coupled together somehow. It's just not always gonna work out in your favor.
Yep, so there will always be a key in the pinball room, I think that one is. My brain is not working. Yeah, there will
Pinball
always be a
room.
small key in pinball just to make sure you don't get yourself stuck.
The only thing is that for as much as you cannot soft lock yourself inside of it, you can still kind of soft lock yourself in the area, because depending on where that entrance for the front of Skull Woods is, you might not be able to get out if you have to drop in. And we do see that it was just the compass to Eastern Palace in Dark Cross.
Yep. But yeah, that can be something of an issue still.
And this is one of those types of Skull Woods. So Bree finding both of the middle entrances in the front. So we're gonna have to play drop down roulette, where you're gonna drop in and hope to find yourself in the front, and then you're gonna hope that the only drop down in the back of Skull Woods is actually brings you to those middle entrances again.
We're getting okay. Top of Lost Woods here is an entrance I tend to forget exists. Oh hey, Waterfall Fairy has a map to Thieves and a small key to Pod.
And we are seeing a lot more now of Kakariko Village. Sean going through these slowly but surely.
Yep. Jack, a wealth of entrances in cross keys, or really any entrance, rando. Magic Bat giving us, that's useless fairy.
That's Magic Bat.
I think was it? Oh, never mind. I can't recognize the difference. Brain. And that's all. But since I've seen cross keys, here's Pyramid Fairy for him, and a pet check for Breve. Oh, blue potion bubble. Well, they don't need that.
Definitely not. And there is the main entrance to Desert Palace.
Alright, good find.
There's our blacksmith down at the Light Arrow game.
Yeah, again, not at the Magic Bat, so that's getting more and more concerning by the minute.
I don't know. So I'll be honest. I play a lot of cross keys, and sometimes knowing that Ganon is vanilla is almost reassuring, because it does guarantee that you will have to make the climb at some point, and it takes out the need for that gamble.
That's true. As we see Eastern here, just south of CAC. Breve going through Dark Cross now. Doesn't have the bow, but Sean can at least check all of the front.
Yeah, I'll take those 5 checks. I don't disagree with this. I know a lot of runners,
Hey,
especially if we get a hammer.
That's a hammer. You'll take that any day.
I will definitely take a hammer early in a cross keys. I would prefer if I was Sean, I would hope for a mirror more so than a hammer. But that combination is really getting good.
Oh yeah, that's a really nice find.
And it does also mean we're only a glove from real Dark World access.
We are. Refinding Saha's hut now. There's a shovel. Okay. Not particularly helpful, though he's actually not too far from the shovel spot anyway, so you can go check it fairly quickly if he wants to.
That's my favorite meme location, by the way, on Brief Side, the fabled Hotel Mario.
Ah yes, this house is fun. Besides, after a moment, wait, I probably do want that heart container. As to get a small key to Castle Tower, okay.
That's a good find, honestly. We have 2 checks in there, and while we do not have to kill Aga for anything, logically at this point. It is really nice to have that kind of access to
It
get
is.
both chests, as we do get that flute activation on Breeve's side.
Yep. Chad is discussing the disgusting possibility that the bottle on head is somehow hard required, but that would require that that particular bottle somehow locks all other bottles, which would be pretty ridiculous.
I've seen crazy things. That is a different level. We are finally getting that mini Moldor in play now on Breeve's side. So 5 chests, or 5 checks here.
Yep. Red rupee bombs. Small key to desert. That's a nice one. 10 arrows and the glove. Nice.
Hey, we got Dark World access.
Yes, we do. As we get a small key to Ganon's in the Eastern Big Key chest.
And this does raise the question, Breve having a lot of options. When do we see the play to Eastern Palace and actually go in it? This is a very, I'll call it contentious topic, and I don't know how Breve likes to play cross keys. But one of the discussions we saw a lot during the cross keys tourney recently was, do you go into Eastern Palace without a bow or the ability to full clear the dungeon?
Because it is a bit of a walk to get back through Eastern. Brave going back over this a ways, and just a heart container on the shovel spot for Sean.
And I like, the trying to cross this one off. We didn't get to see the chest here in Agina's. Breve did not have bombs earlier.
No, but it is good to get this because it's super easy to forget. And in this case, it's a heart container, but if that had been the swamp small or something, that he could have been in real trouble if he forgot that.
Yeah, they really do hope for those kinds of things. There is Blind's Hut on the Kakariko shop. So we're finding a lot of a lot of the big item caves early on this one.
And we've seen Paradox, Menu Moldor, we've seen this now. We've seen a fair few. Loaded nothing in there.
Yeah, this might be the worst one yet, though.
Paradox is ridiculous. I guess this is the balance out. Yeah. Solid amount of nothing there. Ammo, rupees. That's about it.
And we did find Mimic Cave at the Death Mountain Ascent Cave. Unfortunately, Breve, they do not have that hammer yet. So that is not available.
Dark Sake is going to be the next entrance check. Oh, hey, speaking of multiple item locations. Hype Cave. $50. A red meringue. Map to desert. Red rupee and a red rupee.
I mean, unless you are like hugely a fan of Red Rang, and I am a huge Red Rang fan, it's not really going to be something I go, oh yeah, there's the find of the day.
Oh, and there's Ganon.
That is a good piece of info to know, at least.
Yep. But yeah, red meringue and the map to desert. Not the most useless items in the world, also not the most helpful. It's minor utility, I suppose.
Yeah. So Breve is going to give us a look at Graveyard Ledge, having that mirror, and already putting the red meringue to use. So
yeah, it's not useless. It has some little nice utility functions, just not quite what you want. There's a big key on top of Spectacle Rock. And oh, hey, Laser Bridge. Mildly annoying spot on Graveyard Ledge of all places, but that's good info. And 4 more checks.
Yeah, and these are in
Bomb
logic.
Shop up on Death Mountain, youch. Hera and Thieves are 2 red crystals. That's pretty decent. If you can find them, of course.
Yeah, an important thing to keep in mind here is the 4 checks here on Laser Bridge. When we talk about most versions of the randomizer, it's currently on V31, and V31 says, "Hey,
Hey, why do we have gold sword 23 minutes in?
I don't know. That's a seed decision." Um, so, but yeah, as I was saying, this cross keys is on a slightly older version of logic. So the laser skips that you see done there on Breve's side are actually not counted as logical in this mode. Currently, Breve did an amazing job of pulling them off to get all the items off a laser bridge, but you usually have to have an invincibility item, which we do have, of course, so not a big deal. Our front of there's our arrow game, and Sean is going to play it to at least get up a little bit more money.
Yep, useless fairy drop down for Brave. Oh yeah, he didn't check the back of the well earlier due to not having bombs.
Yeah, they had no bombs at that moment, so just going back for the play. And just the
Map
map.
to Turtle Rock. Alright. Yeah, not the most. One of those things that kind of also like the Agina cave check, as well as just check it before you totally forget about it, since that's a solid way to orphan a check until it's your last location and it turns out to be your go mode. As we've all been there. Yeah, Buttersword is more than just a little bit overkill right now. Looks like we're just gonna go for a turn jump here.
Yeah, and this zone is in logic. It's going to be a little annoying to go the other way because technically we'd have to go all the way through Village of Outcasts and then come up the other side on the south end. So I like the dedication to trying to get a different way there.
Yeah, nicely done as Sean gets a red rupee off the old man.
Yeah, and the nice part there is just the ability to have those mountain start points. We don't know where they're going to let out, but nice little bonus.
Yep, Dark Potion shot for Brave is I'm bad with Dark Caves. Help.
Um, the fact that we were able to walk straight up that far, I'm not entirely sure yet. And without sound on Breve's side, that's usually one of the other little indicators. What we do know is that that is not Death Mountain Ascent.
Catfish check here for Brave. Oh, and Sean has just found himself on the Lake Island there.
Lilithend in chat pointing out that might have been Death Mountain Descent. That is possible. And Durek also saying possibly the back of the old man. That's also a chance. I'm not sure which one for sure yet. I didn't get to hear any sounds of possible bats, and that's usually a good indicator as well.
Yep,
So
Harpies.
sound is a very powerful thing, as well as the early shape of the descent cave or the cave itself.
Yep. That's sorry, there was just a harpies on Catfish. Brave is trying to find an extra $7 for Zora, but doesn't have it. That feels a little bad when they're this close, but are just short.
And yeah, this is a big divergence
Ooh,
of the items.
flippers
Um,
on East Death Mountain here.
and honestly, I think the biggest thing, if you're new to watching cross keys or you haven't seen many of these, nobody really has what we would say is an advantage yet. Just a divergence of choices, and that's big for the first hour or so in this mode. Is just do what you can.
Yep. Oh hey, Sean getting a pass through to Dark Death Mountain here.
I think
Doesn't have a
that's
dark
the
floating
second one because front of Hyrule Castle was a connector to Dark Death Mountain as well.
Mhm. Yeah, the first sword turned up in like the first couple of minutes, and then the remaining three turned up in quick succession. It's been a bit nuts.
Yeah, that first sword was in Link's house, so
Ah,
we were able to have a sword right at the word go, really.
yeah, that sounds like it. I actually wasn't here for like the first 5 minutes, so oh hey, here's the dam. Small key to Meyer. All right. And that was in fact the back of Old Man, because here's Brave rescuing him.
Well, that's the back of
Wait,
the
never mind.
Ascent Cave.
Yeah.
So we still don't know where the old man lets out.
Right, now I'm mixing up caves. No, wait. Well, the
That's
front is on Turtle Rock Bridge.
That's a great find, especially because it does give us the chest game, just a heart container. But the fact that that gives us access now, we have well, still unlogical access, but we do know how to get to Mimic Cave now.
Yep, and that is one of those entrances that can be really hard to find in
Yeah,
my
just
back
finding your
section.
way to that bridge can be a pain.
Oh, it for sure is.
So let us see if that was the back of the old man at Dark Potion Shop, though.
Yep. Following behind on General Death Mountain exploration, we'll be able to get that big key off Spectacle Rock as well with the mirror.
And it was. There is our
All
back
right.
of old man.
Oh, Potion Shop, by the way, at the Spectacle Rock entrance. Yeah, Breve is able to check stuff a little more efficiently with mirror, but that's not like itself necessarily going to be a deciding factor, but it can help. It'll be interesting to see what this big key is. Big key to desert. Alright, well, we have both the big and small keys to desert, and we've seen the front. Ether tablet. And arrows.
We've got another connector there at our dark shopping mall.
Yep. And a fairy.
And yes, we did see Sean go for a fake flipper with flippers.
Whoops!
It happens.
Autopilot is very much a thing. Unable to check
Yeah.
the... Oh, thanks, game. That's a dead end onto that ledge there, so Sean's gonna backtrack.
Yeah, I think we're going to get the pod area.
Yeah, but Sean unable to check this glove-locked entrance since he, well, doesn't have glove. So that will be left behind.
Yeah, and this is just kind of what you expect in a cross keys is just, this ability to kind of check a lot of things. The seed is very, very open.
Much of the early part of a cross key seed is going to be exploring the world and mapping out the entrances, picking up items on the way. Yep, we already have Buttersword. You are reading that correctly. This seed has been ridiculous for swords. First one was in Link's house, the rest came soon after. Reeves already had it for 8 minutes, which is nuts, as we get another big key on Pyramid Ledge. Which is... pod, alright. Reeve is going to flip away, not going to check East Death Mountain as of yet.
Cannot, no hammer yet.
That is right. I forgot
unless
he
they
was missing
decide,
that.
Yeah, unless they decide to go through those connectors.
Right.
So,
Thank you. I forgot he had no hammer, because that is in the front of Eastern, which is just south of Keck, and Reeve hasn't quite gotten there yet. Favorite ledge for Sean.
well, and the question is, does Breve, if Breve can find a bow, that Eastern play becomes, as soon as they find it, they just say, I'm good to go on it.
Yeah. What dungeons have we found so far? We've seen Eastern, that's in the library. Desert Main was in Keck, I believe. We've seen Ganon's Tower so far, that I can personally remember right now offhand.
We've seen Hyrule Castle. We've seen the front
Hyrule Castle, yeah.
of Desert. We've seen the back of Skull Woods. And yeah, GT, but really not a very high density of dungeons yet. Oh, we did see Laser Bridge as well, so...
Yeah, Laser Bridge, I forget that. Yeah, you're the one checking entrances, so have a better count than I do. Brave is back in the Zora area for these checks. That's useless.
Yeah, nice little fake flipper here, and luckily having the Moon Pearl, we would have been able to check those things out.
Yep.
But yes, if you've joined us a little bit late, I do realize 11 a.m. with a race is kind of surprising at times. But what
Yeah,
this
stuck in it
is
on Zora Ledge. Won't be getting that.
nope. This is the Link to the Past Randomizer League. Specifically, these are the Open League playoffs. There are two leagues, the Open and the Invitational. Invitational currently has this week off, but this is round one of the invitation or the Open playoffs. Today's matchup between Swordbeam Club and In Rod We Trust. This will be the second game being played between the two teams. Last night was game one, where CJ took down BSJ in casual boots to give Swordbeam Club the 1-0 lead. This is a best of 5 series, so we had Kaz Boots for the Courage Pendant. Wisdom plays Cross Keys, while the Pendant of Power plays a chosen mode out of 4. Inversia, Swordless, Open MC Shuffle, and Hard Randomizer.
Yep.
So,
I think the back of Hookshot Cave is the Mimic Cave entrance on the Brave side, if I was reading that right, and both pod area entrances were dead for Sean.
yeah, nothing really on that end of things.
Waste of 110 rupees, but yeah, not much.
So yeah, best of 5 games. Game 3 chosen by the higher seed in this case. I believe that is Swordbeam Club. So Irritable Penguin for Team Swordbeam Club gets to pick that game as we find
Oh, hey!
Misery Mire.
Yep, Misery Mire just next to Dark Lake.
Whereas the low seed gets, hey, we finally found Sick Kid.
Well, if we ever find the bottle, we know where to turn it in, and there's Turtle Rock left. Right next door.
So yeah, Swordbeam Club, or sorry, In Rod We Trust will get to pick the mode for Game 4 from the 3 remaining selections, and then Game 5 would be a co-op retrance.
Yep.
So really fun kind of format here. This is the division finals. Swordbeam Club and In Rod We Trust were the top 2 teams out of a wild Eastern Palace division. If you were not paying attention to Open League during the regular season, there was actually a 3-way tie at the top of the or for the between Swordbeam, Rod, and Biumvirate. Unfortunately, Biumvirate came out on the wrong side of the tiebreakers this season, leaving these two teams to make playoffs.
Yep. We found the TR front in the Swamp Palace entrance for Sean. Okay, game. I guess we have 3 of our 4 Turtle Rock entrances already. Sure.
And all we really want is that last one.
Yeah, I mean, the others are nice for getting more checks, but they hurt. But at this point, we'd probably like to see some of our other dungeons.
Well, and really, it's that last entrance. Like, if you had a choice between left or right of the middle TR entrances, most people will tell you you want the right one because that's the only way to get that chest.
Yep, can't get the big chest any other way. Left one is kind of meh. Front is nice, but yeah, we don't really need 3 of 4 when we're still missing half the other dungeons. Stumpy giving us a small key to Swamp. That's a good find.
That is an excellent find. We still don't know too much map information. And I don't anticipate we're going to see a map check too soon from either of our runners, but...
Sean briefly checked, but I was not able to read it at all. Oh, speaking of TR.
Yeah.
I guess we have all of them. Okay. Sure. We have all of our TR entrances already, is kind of hilarious, but yeah, damn. If we're gonna find the everything in the CAC area, we'll see what he decides to do with Eastern. Lava Chest, by the way, was just a map. I forget to what. Oh yeah, and Forshaw is still sitting on Fighter Sword, even though Brave, 've been on Butter Sword for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and really, it's that last entrance. Like, if you had a choice between left or right of the middle TR entrances, most people will tell you you want the right one because that's the only way to get that chest.
Tempered on Butter Sword for 15 minutes. Chasing this Pokey around the room. Oh.
So yeah, we're seeing the rest of these Kakariko checks. It's really, I'm surprised in this one. We saw both runners kind of stay away from full clearing Kakariko. So they've both kind of just been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna check a few things. And once again, Breve just going with not checking south of Kakariko.
Nope. And so gonna miss out on the front of Eastern for a bit longer, since that's in the library entrance.
And that's a real unfortunate death for Breve in the overworld of Dark World.
Yeah, that one sucks. Alright.
And you are right, that was Hookshot Cave on Mimic.
Okay, I can actually identify entrances for once, or at least that one. Fairly obvious. Let's get a red rupee off. Well, one dig red rupee, you'll take that, I guess. Front of Hookshot Cave is Desert Main. Okay.
Yeah, and this really just comes down to, the decisions so far. Each runner kind of, going through what they can find and do what they can. And it's led to some weird kind of divergence, but like nothing ridiculous. It's just kind of surprising.
Yeah, I think Buttersword has made Breve's life a little easier in terms of enemies and whatnot. Not having camera has impacted a thing or three. Just because of their different items, they've just taken wildly different routes around the map. Red. Okay, that was still a red crystal and Hera. I did not catch the other two. There's a what is on Eastern today for Sean. That's been according to our tracker. Thank you. Yeah, both runners still kind of right now in exploration mode. They're starting to still each got some odds and ends entrances left. Where is Paradox for Sean, by the way?
So Paradox Cave, we found the bottom of Paradox on Bereave's side. And that's kind of one of those things we just haven't had when do you go? We never saw where the actual logical Paradox entrances were. There we go. Apparently that is a logical Paradox entrance, though.
Okay, that works. Light hype cave, because I was thinking about when Sean would get the all the items out of this Paradox, because it's a bit ridiculous. Getting his key to Skull Woods, flute, he'll also get his second sword and Bombus out of here. Spike Cave for Brave is in the C-shaped house. Book and Bombus here, as well as Master Sword incoming for Sean.
Yeah, the only thing that feels bad about that is just the fact that Sean hadn't been here a lot sooner, so did check a lot of areas with the tablets and a few other things. So we'll see when Sean gets back to those.
But when there's Bonk Rocks by Sanctuary, I guess we don't need to worry about that entrance, which is always nice. Desert left for Brave.
Yeah, interestingly, that is a moment that Sean goes, okay, I can't check the bottom now.
Yeah. I don't actually remember what the bottom was off the top of my head.
I know I have it. I just need to find it again.
To be fair, it was like half an hour ago for Brave, who has just found a hookshot in the desert big chest. Bloomerang on the torch.
Oh,
Not gonna worry about it.
bottom of Paradox Cave was our curiosity shop.
Ah. Because I'm trying to remember which early location Bree found it at.
Yeah, that's how divergent these routes have been, is that we've had a curiosity shop check over 20 minutes ago.
Quite a bit more. Well, Bree had Gold Sword out of Laser Bridge 20 minutes ago, so it's been even longer than that
Yeah,
for.
good point.
No, there was the other Meyer Small and the Swamp Big, I think that was. Yeah, out of the well. I missed those earlier. And Useless Fairy. Torch is the Bloomerang Wiggle. Loot activation for Sean. Yeah, we've had Gold Sword for 20 minutes. It's a little bit on the brave side. It's a little silly. The two swords Sean is missing are in GT Hope Room and Laser Bridge, and I wasn't. Neither of them are particularly hard to find. He just hasn't quite been to either yet.
Yeah, unfortunately for Sean, still no mirror. Just how the checks have worked out. We'll see when Sean makes those discoveries.
Indeed. Where is GT actually?
GT is at our Lake Hylia shop.
Ah, so he just hasn't quite been to that particular entrance yet. Bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
And no, I did not pick the seed. Sean finding the front of Hookshot Cave here. Speaking of, Brave can check that whenever he gets back over there.
Yeah, we'll see. Breve might be more enticed to come back to this area just for that. That is a really nice find of 4 chests at this point.
It is. We're still missing a lot of dungeons, and we can't complete the ones we do have access to. So we're in a bit of an odd spot. We're starting to get into a little bit of an odd spot as we run lower on entrances and items to do those dungeons.
Well, the big thing we actually have access to, and as we find King's Tomb at the left side of Race Game.
Giving us a small key to Thieves, that's a good find.
Yeah, really amazing find there. But one of the interesting things is we actually have access to a good portion of left side Ganon's Tower right now, logically.
Oh, yeah, we do, between Hammer and Hookshot.
Yeah, so that is going to give us DM room. We don't have a ton beyond that, logically, without keys. 2 keys doesn't do a ton for us, but it is really nice to see, hey, I can go do at least some more of that dungeon and get some items.
Indeed, because I can't really do a ton in Wire without a fire source. You're not particularly inclined to go there. We've seen most of Eastern and can't finish it without a bow. You can't really do Moth without a fire rod either. Here's Front of Skull. Here's Eastern for Breve, and we haven't really found our other dungeons.
And Breve is going in, so this is really, really nice.
Yeah, this will be
just
good
for the hammer.
them. Our piece off Hobo, but yeah, this will be good for Breve. I think they're going in at least to get in part. Even without a bow, you've done a lot of the world, and there's not a lot to do, so you might as well get this hammer. You get these tracks, and well, there's a hammer. The shovel's also in here, but that didn't lead to much of anything.
And no, we have not actually seen Swamp Palace yet, and that's an interesting thought from Homemade Beer. If we do get Swamp Palace, we actually know at this point we have full logical clearability there.
Yeah, we do. We have hammer, flippers, hookshot, and both the small key and big key, actually.
Yeah, that's a combination of items.
We have everything for Swamp except for the palace itself. We've even found the dam. Because that one's up on Lake Death Mountain.
I wonder if Sean picks up that bug net.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, in terms of our dungeons, we have not seen the back of Desert Palace yet. We have not seen Tower of Hera. We have not seen Pod. We have not seen Thieves. We have not seen Swamp. We did see the back of Skull. I don't think we've seen Ice. but we have seen everything else. So, and we haven't seen Castle Tower.
Yeah, we haven't seen Castle Tower. We have seen Meyer, and we've seen all 4 entrances to TR.
And no love for the bug net today.
Yep.
And no, it is not really go mode without the bug net. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Live your best life. Get a bug net.
Neither team particularly living up to their names at the moment. Swordbeam Club is missing Swords, and Rod we trust has no rods.
So yeah, what's the big goal here? Of course, is we'd want to beat this game, but the teams are looking to make it into the semifinals overall. Top 4 teams at the end of the open playoffs. So the 4 remaining teams all get invites into next season's Invitational League. So that is pretty much what they're all playing for, besides the pride of doing well. That is a nice little reward in a sense of getting that invite next season.
For sure. Sean gonna go and do some cleanup here with the book, picking up his 10 arrows off the ether tablet. Just more general exploration for boost runners. There are a number of glove-locked entrances that have gotten orphaned, particularly thinking of boost shopping malls.
Yeah, and that's specifically on Sean's side. Sean's played pretty aggressive with his entrance checks. Breve, having that early glove, has been able to really kind of go for all of the stuff and not have to worry about the missing of those.
Yeah,
Hammer's
another
been only like
entrance
a minor piece.
it has. Relatively, it doesn't lock nearly as many entrances. It's nice for some things, but it doesn't lock entrances the way Glove or even Mirror does, since K45 is another entrance we haven't seen yet. Here. Any Moldum for Sean. This one was not the most helpful. Well, okay, those are small. Oh, wait,
Oh,
no,
and
I'm
the
mixing
glove.
caves. Okay, so I'm mixing it up. This little K45 entrance was for Grief. Whoops. I also don't think we've seen the M cave down by Desert either, due to the lack of glove on Sean's side. He did check the cave up there, but has not been able to check the glove-locked entrance over there yet due to a lack of a glove. We're able to check the entrances over in that area as well as Bombo's tablet now.
Now, Sean getting over to Desert Palace, unfortunately not having the Desert Palace big key does mean no hook shot.
Yeah, because Sean did not have a mirror to go get that Desert Pig off Spectacle Rock earlier.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because I think pretty soon Sean is going to find GT.
Indeed. Not just another connector, I think, there in the MK for Breve.
But here we go with Bombo's tablet.
Yeah, single arrow. Okay, well,
The great find of the Arrow of Destiny. And this is actually one of the few entrances that Breve wasn't able to check in Village of Outcast, being hammerless at the moment, but no find there for Sean. So just continuing to go through all these checks.
Yep. Here's Spike Cave, which...
Sean is giving a long look at.
Yep. He's like, do
We
I
meet
want to
again.
try that? Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. reason why Brief didn't check this entrance for Paradox earlier is because they didn't have bombs, and yep, nope, thanks.
Oh, there's my logical paradox cave.
Yep, probably just rolling their eyes a little bit at that one. It's like, okay, thanks. Super Bunny here did not have much of anything that I can remember.
Yeah, I see the little discussion about bomb jumping the left side of GT. I personally am not a bomb jumper of left side GT unless I already have boots, because boots does make it a little bit quicker to work through, and also requires less bomb jumps to get everything.
Yeah.
So I personally am, if I have boots, I will bomb jump left side. But if I don't have boots, I'll just do the stuff that's in logic. And
Here's an
that's,
idea for Brief. Does have two small keys. Is gonna go try Meyer out with a hook shot now. And go, or maybe not.
yeah, realizing no fire might say, I don't want to go through this.
Yeah, I was like, it's an interesting choice. There are already few checks available, but also, yeah, no fire source. You're gonna be
And
leaving quite.
especially Breve knowing, hey, right here's GT, let's go check a lot of left side.
Oh yeah,
'Cause,
there's a quite a bit available here.
yeah, I really do. I think this is a good play.
I think so. Sean just doing some more cleanup. I think he might end up over. Let's see where he goes next. Doing some more entrance checking, it looks like. Alright, Dark Magician Room. Shield. Small key to Turok. Well, that's good. You do need at least one to get to try next. Mints. And a heart piece. Well, definitely needed at least one TR key. That is a crystal, so can't get around that. Meyer is a crystal as well for Sean. Checking that map. And that's a heart piece in the firebar room.
And there's Bumper Cave. We have Bumper Bottom at Bumper Bottom.
I was going to say, I think that looks familiar.
Yep, there we go. There's our vanilla.
There's always one vanilla entrance in entrance random, no matter what you do. That always feels like there's at least one.
Yeah, there always is. It's called the Back of Tavern. But
Well, okay, other than that. Mirror is in Hope Room of GT. Sean has literally not found GT yet.
yeah, Sean has not visited Lake Hylia yet, so unfortunate there.
Berna, sorry, is, well, okay, I guess in Rando Room. Not really what you want to find, though. Would have probably preferred the other cane at this point. So I'm going to go to the front of Skull Woods now.
And Bree's gonna have to be really careful here, coming up on an Armos fight.
Ice Armos is gonna be a little finicky.
Oh,
Does get a
never
nice.
mind. Apparently, we have the greatest stun prize ever in the world.
Berries, it looks like. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
GT
Vortex,
is
Light World Lake.
yeah. Light World Lake Hylia shop is GT
The Dark
for a
World.
mirror and a sword.
Yes, actually, that is in fact funny. Cause
We've
yeah,
had
Hope
a
Room
lot of
had
divergence today.
no kidding. Bob's chest giving us the bit Hera big. All right, if we can ever find Hera, that's nice. Yeah, I don't think has Sean found Meyer. I don't think Sean's found Meyer either, and that's the Dark World uh, house north of Lake Hylia.
Okay, so we have struck out with our first drop down.
Nice armor. It's not too bad, actually, on Gold Sword. Takes a bit, but is working fairly well.
Yeah, Gold Sword's not too bad for this fight.
And there we go. Getting a Hurt Container, Powder, and a Red Shield. Okay. Well, we have seen Magic Bat, so that's an idea. Magic Bat being vanilla. Sean finding a boatload of nothing in the front of Skull Woods.
And knowing that there's no way back to the front, having to perform that save and quit.
Yeah. Reeve is going to go clean up, I guess Eastern Dark World here, more or less. Gonna check Pyramid Lich for the pod big and find out there's no interesting entrances near pod.
Well, we haven't seen these entrances actually, because we're getting at top of Hyrule Castle as well.
Oh, true, that one is new, because Sean still does not have that mirror.
Yeah, and given all those dungeons we've been listing off as being unfound, gotta imagine we're gonna.
Speaking of, there's a back of desert.
Back of desert, and we have no fire.
We're in, no fire sources.
Just, sweat the details here.
Yeah, the chicken hut, okay. But yeah, at least we know where it is. $300 in the chicken hut, not really helpful. Well, the next time they're on, I think the potion shops on Death Mountain someplace, they can buy potions later. If they ever find bottles.
We've made our big expenditure. We know where a bottle is. What are you talking about, Star?
Well, we know where it is, but we can't pick it up right now. As you see the front of, we see Deepstown now. No big key though. We've got a small key, but the big key is who knows right now. 4 quick checks at least. We don't really have shop sanity on Iron Zephyr. What's the door? Call it.
But yes, the only bottle we actually know where it is on the pedestal, so.
Yeah, you can't really buy, like, shuffled items from shops, I'm pretty sure. And there's the big key to Skull Woods. I would have laughed if that was the big key to Thieves. No, man, there's a shroom. Big key to Skull Woods, something to check, I guess, next time Reeve's in that area. I guess along with Magic Bat, since yeah, Powder and Magic Bat is over there. Oh, there's a Harris Small in the first chest of Swamp. Not too much though in front of these ultimately.
Wait, did we miss Brief finding Swamp earlier?
Might have, because there's a big key to Thieves, speaking of. Where was this swamp? Because I managed to miss it.
This might have been the fortune teller at Lake Hylia.
Oh, it might have been.
Maybe I just missed this because of the excitement of the early seed.
Possible. Yeah, I kind of forgot about this, I'll be honest. If we have seen it. And I don't even know if I was here for it, since I was missing the first few minutes. Oh, next door to GT. Okay. I don't think I was actually here at that time, since it was the first couple minutes of the seed, or I think I just got here when that happened. Chad's still theory crafting how that bottle on ped could be required.
Are we honestly surprised?
No.
No.
And Brave is in fact still missing flippers. It is on Light East Death Mountain, one of the drop downs. Not quite sure which, but one of the ones over here.
Yeah, it was the middle drop down set. So we'll see if
Get that
Breve
here.
decides to make this play. Actually, this is a really obvious one, I think. Yeah. Breve has mitts, so lots of mobility. Really
Yep.
kind of compounding, and like Sean's not doing terribly. He has a few things that he found that really can help, but Breve is hitting things in an order that just is working out very nicely. The Desert
Very
Palace
much
Big is on top of Spectacle Rock.
correct.
And unfortunately, Sean still not having gone to GT at the Lake Hylia shop has not
It's
gotten
right next
Mirror and this.
door.
Yeah, it's right next door, so he'll go there next.
But not having Mirror has really impacted his routing, unfortunately, much more than Breve's late hammer and flippers have been. There's a back of Skullwoods for Breve. Yeah, we've gotten a good collection of big keys. Now we're still missing the Meyer and TR bigs. We're also missing the bow. We need both rods.
We need
We need a
fire in
cane.
general.
Yeah. We kind of need a fire source, but yeah, our current guaranteed go mode is, well, we need to find our last few dungeons. Though we're most of the way there on items that can lock entrances. We need to find our remaining few entrances. We need a cane, we need bow, we need both rods. The Meyer and TR big keys. Yeah. I mean, CJ, at least we know there's a fire rod, speaking of, in Left Side Swamp. At least CJ, Sean knows that there's a big key on Spectacle Rock, so once he finally finds his mirror, he will get back there at some point. Just
Well,
might take him a bit.
this is a really nice little set of finds from Sean. So he got the Thieves Town big key and the fire rod, so when Sean finds thieves, he'll be able to clear it. Like, these are nice little bonuses for him not having to double dip, whereas Breve has that opposite problem. Although, as I
Yeah.
say that, Breve has the mobility that Sean lacks in terms of the mitts and mirror.
Yep. Nice death warp for Sean to get out of here. Again, no mirror, so it has a death warp.
But incoming mirror for Sean.
Yep. In case you're wondering what the hookshot is, that is the desert big chest. That's red blue mail on the Lake Island. I missed that earlier. And there's GT.
And yeah, as Monkey points out in chat, Sean really getting close to getting 1.0'd by that fireball going for right side. So there we go. Tempered Sword and the mirror.
Brave clearing out the Meyer Desert area here. Gonna pick up a small key to Ice Palace on Desert Ledge. Okay, Brave did find something that makes sense. We just missed it in the mess of everything. Almost for the Meyer means Brave can check this entrance.
Yeah,
Sean
and we
is going to
did see
bomb
that
jump
Ice
left
Palace
side.
entrance finally.
Yes, that is a Solaire Sprite.
And, even if Sean doesn't go for more bomb jumps, this is the one that really is going to pay off nicely for the mobility side of things because Sean is going to get those mitts.
Yep.
And Sean is leaving, so really nice.
Yep. Hookshot Cave here for Breve is going to be 4 quick checks, giving us bombs. Green Rupee. Heart Container. And Heart Red Rupee.
Our Ice Palace entrance is the Tower of Hera. Unfortunately, Sean does not have the big key yet. So
Nope.
this seed requires mitts.
Yes, it does. You cannot avoid it. They tend to be They are often skippable in Krause keys, but no such luck today. Oh, there's another battle. Pet is
Pet is
officially dead.
dead.
Arcakina here is Zaka Tower. Chat's not happy with that. Runners are probably Reavers probably gonna leave sooner so that they don't need to. Oh no, sorry, Sean is. Well, Sean doesn't have the pet info, but that is gonna be nice for the runners that they don't need to do the pet.
Exactly. It's interesting, we have kind of this contrast of keys available. Sean having the thieves big, Breve having the thieves small. Sean having Hera small, Breve having Hera big. So just this little contrast of which ones they've found up to this point, even while both runners are in the same area.
Indeed. GT Big Key in the Akatower's second chest is a good find. That can lock up. There are quite a few checks on the climb. And yeah, Sean can't do Hero Pot and doesn't have a fire source in the basement. No, doesn't have a fire source. It doesn't feel like it, I think, is what that is. Forgot he's the one with the fire rod. Alright, Breve's gonna full clear swamp here. Gonna get fire rod and see what the back has.
Yeah, I don't see a realm in this one where Breve does not full clear Swamp Palace.
I think you're missing way too much stuff to not full clear for Breve.
Yep. And for Sean heading into ice, I do wonder, do we get the clear? Yep, it looks like we're going to get that clear of ice. Or at least the start.
Yeah. And also, well, we're 10 minutes in. Let's shout out our two runners here, Sean Rhapsody and Breve. Also to my co-com, Radical Sniper, and to our trackers, the Rook and Akuhesh. Apologies, I botched your names.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today as well, Star. I know this was a last-minute join for you, but much appreciated. It makes life a lot easier to do this with a team.
Yep. Oh, hey, there's our last Meyer key. Thanks.
I mean, who you want Meyer keys, right?
The third one, maybe not. But yeah, I haven't copped cross keys in a solid while. I think the last time was the cross key tourneys wild card race, in fact. So apologies if I sound like a bit of an idiot today. Cross keys is not my strongest mode.
This one's always a tough one, and we're really seeing two runners who know the mode, and just trying to give it their all for their teams today.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I'm leaving logic and entrance tracking to you, is you're better than I am. And thanks, Straussy, for fixing the bot command. I guess Sean's doing ice because he's here? Can't complete Hera, doesn't have a way to Hera Pot or the big key, doesn't have a move for Easter, and that's also a pendant. Hasn't found Pod, doesn't have the hookshot for Swamp. Skullwoods is a real trek from where he currently is, I think. Hasn't found Thieves, can't do Meyer, and can't do TR. I guess it's just doing a dungeon.
Yeah, I think at this point, there's almost that. I wonder if there's a slight feeling of I miss an early mirror, and I know how much that could put me behind, and feeling like I have to go with the dungeon clear here.
Yeah, we actually do not know if this or is the final rule is a crystal or not. Does he get fair right on Breve's side? Yeah, he also hasn't seen a lot of the dungeons because they are mirror locked. He's missing quite a few entrances due to that mirror. Ice Pell is not giving a ton, though, so far. Really just the third Meyer key, which, well, it's the third Meyer key. And Neat Quake,
The one medallion we really didn't need at all.
Nope, because it doesn't look any entrances, and Quake has no other use. That's a solid Well, useless item basically at this point. Your room is 10 arrows. This ice palace is a snooze. One big chest, just 10 arrows. And let's see what the back has. Sean can check iced tea here. He's gonna go do that. Very nice bomb diver down, getting another blue potion bottle and the boots out of the back of Swamp here. Very nice.
Yeah, and this is, that's the huge find, is knowing what the logic requires here of getting your Desert Big Key off of Spectacle Rock to then go to Desert Big Chest for your hook shot to get into the back of Swamp Palace for boots. The little advantages that we've had so far are just continuing to kind of pile on.
Yep. Sean continuing in ice here. Nice bomb jump, getting a heart piece. Doesn't have the big key with, so cannot. We haven't seen the big key, so can't get the big chest.
And really nice killing of the puffs there on Breeve's side. Unfortunately, getting a little bullied, so didn't get the kill with before the first spin of 0 puffs, but nicely done as Sean enters the cold stare fight. So we are getting simultaneous dungeon clears. Breeve getting a pod small, and there's our last pendant.
Okay, well, I guess we know what all of our crystals are then, because Eastern and Skullwoods are the other two pendants. Nice cold stare fight for Sean. Yeah, second pod key is a little bit rude on Argus. That's logically required.
Yeah, I mean, crazy to think that is a crystal pod, and we only have 2 small keys this far in.
Hour 15 in, you'd expect me to have a bit more than 2. Boots also do unlock a few new checks. You know, the one by Sank is a pass we've already seen. I think that's one of the entrances to Paradox. This one is useless too, thanks.
Yeah, we have seen our other entrance for Bumper Ledge, so, or Bumper Cave.
Yeah. That's Desert, right? And Light Fleet 5. Yeah. Current guaranteed list of Go mode items are a bow, ice rod, Somaria, and the Meyer and TR bigs, I think, is what we're currently missing. As well as entrances, of course, we're still missing Pod.
Is Pod the only entrance we're missing now?
I think it might be by now.
Yeah, I think the only entrance or dungeon we're missing now is Palace of Darkness.
Mm-hmm. What's left for Pod, actually?
In terms of entrances available, technically the Pyramid Ferry, Turtle
that
Rock,
is
Back of Skull Woods, Hammer Pegs, the Dark Bonk Rocks behind Link's house.
both shopping mall glove locked entrances have not been seen.
I think we saw the one over on Sean's side. I think Sean went
Sean
back there.
Did he? I'm not sure because I know he didn't have glove at least his first trip to the shopping malls.
And yes, we found the north entrance of Desert as well as Thieves Town, both on top of Castle Tower, or
Correct?
next to the Castle Tower entrances.
Yeah, Castle Tower entrance.
Dark Shopping Mall was a ferry, so we have seen that one actually.
Okay.
So yeah, we're definitely running a little lower on this. Not exactly some of the best ones, but this is part of trying to find it.
Yeah, that's Growski's for you.
Yep. And yeah, there's just little bits of divergence here. I You know, I wouldn't say that any runner is, purely in the lead. I think at this point, Breve has opened up a little bit of an advantage just with that hook shot and boots.
Yeah, that Shaw needs to get back to that desert big key at some point. Over on Spectral Rock again. It's got to be on his mind somewhere, but he doesn't know which big key it is, so he doesn't know how useful it might be.
Yeah, that's
In
the
this case,
thing.
pretty
For
helpful. That hook
and
shot
that
is big.
Yeah, that's the hard part is there's just so many things that might be more enticing, and back of Skull Woods is a good check.
Nope.
Unfortunately, not a very valuable entrance.
Nope. One of the head caves that has no use at all. Gonna at least know that head is dead.
But on the other side, we do see Breve going through Desert Palace to get another boss kill. So we are starting to enter that second phase of Cross Keys, where you're just able to start clearing dungeons as you find them.
Yeah.
So Breve saying, "Okay, I've got my thieves big, I've got my fire rod. Let's go beat desert and thieves right now."
Makes a lot of sense. Probably going. We'll see where he goes, or they go after that, as so you get to Landmos. Yeah, first part of Cross Keys is exploring entrances as you try to find items, and then you get to the dungeon clearing phase, and we're mostly into that second part now.
Yeah, you're going for dense entrances with the most ability to beat stuff. So in this case, I can clear all this dungeon, let me do it. I can clear all that dungeon, let me do it. And what we're trying to enter is that final phase where you just are in go mode and it is just an assault on, just finishing dungeons as fast as possible without doing the extra work.
Yeah. Sean getting the Smith, Breve finding the second Skull Woods key on Landmos, which is dead useless at this point. Thanks. Smith's giving us a lamp. Alright, well,
Okay. I mean, that's
I
some
guess
logical info.
that puts the GT Vicky into logic on the second Agate Hammer test. I'm not sure how much else it does, but it does do that.
And we will get to see hammer pegs here as well from Sean. So Sean kind of trying to see, where are my entrances that give me a chance here? Where is Pod? I know Mitz kind of opens these up. But unfortunately having to do this the slow way without boots.
Yeah, this takes a while. Yeah, Sean's missing his hookshot logic. He's chasing a hookshot mitts and is doing checks. So hey, here's a C-shaped house. But does eventually need to get his logic back in the form of a hookshot.
Yeah, and that's the hard part is like Sean did fully check the mountain. It's just a big key there right now. And I think part of it is just, do I really want to go for this? And
Yeah, because
unfortunately the option
he's missing.
becomes
Cause
these
he
one-offs.
Yeah, he is missing multiple big keys, but for all he knows, it might be one of the ones that locks like one thing. Like Landmos is one check. You
Well,
know,
that's the thing. Sean doesn't
Para
know
big
that
might not
desert's
be the thing.
there.
And he's also missing entrances. He doesn't know that Thieves is up there either.
That's the
Like
thing.
this,
Like Sean only just got his mirror recently as well. So for him, like he's trying to string together the mirror checks and their Super Bunny.
no,
So
I don't think Sean's checked Laser Bridge either. I don't know if he's found
yeah,
it yet.
no.
Because
With how late
he
his
has
mirror was, has not gone to Graveyard Ledge for that laser bridge.
no.
So
Yes, he's still missing his gold sword from it. I was looking at my notes sheet and wondering where his gold sword is because Remus had it for a full hour.
yeah,
That is a silly sentence, but yes, Remus had a gold sword for an hour in a cross key seed. It's a little silly, but hey, it's been nice. Not the biggest time difference between our runners by any means, but it's been a nice fine thing to happen for you.
yeah. The only real thing here is Breve is starting to collect these crystals. This will be crystal number 2 on Breve's side. So starting to fill in the gaps.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sean being a pedant probably isn't helping Sean's situation either.
Yeah, and I did just realize, a few entrances we also haven't checked is King's Tomb and Dark Bonk Rock. So we do have some other boots entrances that could matter.
Mm-hmm. He drills. Chat, and that is crystal number 2 for Spreve. Not a whole lot on in the bag of Skullwoods, unfortunately. Not Skullwoods Thieves. But not much.
Boots are in the Diver Down chest of Swamp Palace with Hookshot and Desert Big chest and the Desert Big on top of Spectacle Rock. There's quite a chain for Sean to get that Hookshot or those boots at this point, which we still
And
don't
we're
know if
not.
we need.
We don't. Sean was able to bomb jump to Dark Magician and get the bits, which he definitely needs today. But we did the hookshot is at least logically required. We're not sure yet on hard required. Just a map on the shroom. Brave. Just wondering why they were up here again.
Just to kind of address a statement in chat, this is not a torturing of Open League at all. These are the playoff teams. One of these teams could find their way into Invitational if they are part of the Final Four. And there's nothing that, the runners of the Open League are just as capable in this mode and did play it during the season. So,
Yeah.
And these two players specifically are very experienced runners in cross keys, both having participated in plenty of races. So do not underestimate the abilities of our runners in this mode.
Yep. Oh, and that's a good point from Duruk. I forgot. We definitely need hookshot because boots are hookshot locked. We kind of need a way to mire. Rips. Good catch, Duruk. Yeah, that's at least the hookshot is gonna be an absolute must find. Hook boots as of yet unknown. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Both runners have been doing well with this seed. It's just that Brave's routing has worked out a lot better than Sean's has today, unfortunately. Just with the item placements.
I don't know what people are saying about being wrong about cross keys. Cross keys is the greatest mode, and if you don't like cross keys, you're wrong.
Okay, light shopping mall. The glove lock check was just Dark Saha's head, which is useless. And Sean is now on top of Hyrule Castle, so that's good for him. Doesn't have that desert pick though, so can't beat Landmouse. And that recurring problem.
You're right. I could be a little bit biased. I am technically the cross keys player of my own team, so.
I am here providing entertainment and a second pair of eyes. Cross keys is not my strong suit. Thieves Big was something I can't remember who made beer.
Thieves Big was garbage. It was arrows or money, so definitely not a bad situation for Sean to be in here without the Thieves small key.
Yep. Which, speaking of, that is on the race game. The left side entrance, which is mirror locked as well. Yeah, mirror.
So, cross keys, what is it? It is a cross-world entrance randomizer with key sanity. Cross-world entrance randomizer means that all the entrances are shuffled, but if you go in a connector in light world and go out the other side, you could end up in the dark world.
Yep.
What it also does mean is that our drop downs are coupled to there are like entrances with drop downs are coupled. So like if I go to the Lost Woods, that entrance and drop down will be common. So if the entrance is bad, the drop down is bad.
Yep. And here is Hera for Brave. Not gonna do the basement just yet.
I can't imagine we skip basement afterwards.
I don't think so. Gonna first do the other checks, I suppose. Nice Hera pot.
What is cross keys really? I mean, it is probably it is a polarizingly difficult mode. Definitely one that is not for the faint of heart. But I will also say it's a very rewarding mode. Probably, if you enjoy a good puzzle, cross keys is probably the most fun of the puzzle modes.
Yep. Key sanity is, in fact, so normally in Randomizer, keys are just shuffled in their own dungeons. Key sanity, as well as the maps and compasses, and well, what ALTTPR calls full key sanity variants differ between different randomizers, as Trolldorm is a troll. ALTTPR key sanity, we have here full key sanity, which means that the maps and compasses, as well as all small keys and all big keys, can be anywhere at all in the world.
So here's that second fight with Moldorm now. Still not really cooperative, but does get the job done. Luckily, just 2 slashes of that glorious butter sword.
And that's that, giving us there's a bow.
Hey! We finally have a bow!
Hour and a half in, we finally have a bow. Wahoo!
And that is our second 5/6 crystal, so that does mean Pyramid Fairy is open. So there is a chance that Palace of Darkness is at the Pyramid Fairy.
Chances are going up. We only have so many places. Where was Hookshot? So, there is a Desert Big Key on Spectacle Rock. Sean didn't find a mirror for forever, so he could not get it. He knows it's there, but who knows when it's not exactly high on his priority list right now, unfortunately. Said Desert Big locks obviously land moves, but also the hookshot on the Desert Big chest, which is required from Myers since the boots are in the back of Swamp.
Yeah, and Breve is giving us the Hera basement, so does not want to have to come back here in the future.
It's a slow check, and he is getting close, and they are getting close to go mode, but you don't want to get back
and it's
here.
not even the worst location to get to with it being at Ice Palace with Flute, Mirror, and everything else, so it's not terrible.
But it's also just, I can also see just doing it while you're here.
Yeah. I don't know, because I can look at both runners and go, you're doing okay, but I think there's definitely a situation where both of them can say, I could have had X sooner. For Breve, like that hammer definitely is one of them, and for Sean, that mirror especially, like, and when Sean finds the hook shot is also going to have that same realization of, I could have had this a long time ago.
Yeah, to be fair, Sean has done a decent number of stuff as well, but he will have to backtrack for a fair few things since he does finally find his hookshot. Sean, yeah, you don't have Mickey. You can't do
that's another punch for Sean there, unfortunately.
Yes, he has to backtrack to get that. Skullwood's back entrance check here for Breve.
Yeah, and I like this play. You know, Breve knows, wait a minute, I'm still missing just so much. Or I'm missing an entrance.
I really need this entrance since it's Pod.
I really need to know where Pod is. And saying, I'm going to find Pod if it's the last thing I do.
Yeah, because one of the big things in Cross Keys is, do I have all of my dungeons yet?
And here we go. Sean on to Death Mountain. Gonna get that Desert Big Key. Probably gonna be a little annoyed having just found the back of Desert, but little does he know, this is a huge deal.
Yep. I honestly have no idea how to pronounce it. Is it Brave? Brev? I've got no idea.
Brave.
Okay, Mirror Shield is, well, not it. For him, them, Skullwood's big being in the front of Thieves.
I was, at the start of the race, I was saying Brev, and I was actually contacted by a friend saying Breve.
To be fair, I have a really hard time remembering runners' names, especially ALTTPR. I'm primarily no TR person, so trying to remember dozens upon dozens of ALTTPR players is hard to do. So while Sean's name is fairly obvious, and I apparently randomly remember how to pronounce Breve's name from previously, I get stuck at times as Sean finally gets that Desert Big. That's what I thought Jossy's that Italian would be Breve. Brave like Steve. I think Brave is off to Eastern maybe next with that bow. Well, actually, that's a pendant though. Let's see where they are going.
I mean,
Hammer Pegs is an idea, honestly, but speaking of entrances, at least.
yeah. That's a thought. I thought maybe we get King's Tomb.
That's also a possibility, as Sean gets his third GT key off of Stealing Island. Vilecat Breve is actually I think that is actually the feminine form of the word brief, actually, in French. Missing an accent, but that would be pronounced bref in French.
Unfortunate little mirror bonk there for Breve.
Oops.
But gonna turn in the Smith.
Here's Moth for Sean. Gonna be the green pendant. Yep, that, Drosy. And the lamp for Brave. This discussion of pronunciation is thrown off my character. It's thrown me off as well.
So we are going to get that Moth fight, though. Saha is not too bad of a location either inside of the Kakariko village. So we might get to see a green pendant turn in soon as well.
Yep. Moth itself is going to give us a red rupee. And okay, brev is also the Spanish and Italian word for short or brief. That makes sense. I think it's a bit of a linguistics discussion here now. Hawthorne is just kind of doing checks you've already seen. Still missing a Meyer Big, a TR Big, the King of Samaria, and the pod entrance for Go Mode. I have no idea how one might say cross keys in Spanish, but it's cross clay is what the ALTTPR Francophone community calls it. Clay clay? Yeah, clay, I think. Cause is well, yeah, that's crossed, and then clay is.
Oh,
keys.
Hey, look, King of Samaria.
Hey, speaking of,
that is the rest of the ability to clear GT now.
It is.
GT is looking slowly more appealing in terms of items.
Yeah, yes, Drosy. The French for key sandy is clayzadre, and then cross keys is clay. Or I think it's either clay or clay. I forget which because I forget if I've got an accent on there. My brain decides to quit sometimes.
Now, Breve deciding where to go next. It looks like we are going to get the Ice Palace play. Getting that Cane of Samaria, saying, you know what, I'm not going to worry about the Ice Palace big chest. I just want to clear what I can. And in this case, I want to beat Ice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if we want to discuss the big differences here, Mirror... The mirror is where this all started. Breve getting an early mirror out of GT, which was a Sphere 0 check, has really made just such a massive difference in the ability to make checks, leading to the Desert Big, leading to Hookshot, leading to Boots, and these are just going to kind of being compounding advantages at this point.
I think so, because Boots is also just adding up little bit by bit in terms of just movement, and that Samaria that Brave just find is going to save a bunch of time in Ice Palace. Yeah, that's okay. That's what I thought, Drosy. But Cosclay and not Clay. Clay is the adjective, which is why I had to brain forest which one they use.
So, you know, Sean is not like ridiculously far behind, but it's the advantages that Breve has been able to build up.
Yeah. And Sean still wants to do some backtracking and whatnot too. Still needs to go to the Desert Big Chest for that hook shot too. Where Desert itself isn't particularly hard to find, but he does need to get back there as he finishes off Landmost for his third crystal here.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're tied up in the crystal department, so if we just look at that crystal count, it's not a big difference.
But in terms of what he's found versus Brave is in the better position here. I mean, how far behind I think is going to come down to how he routes his next checks, and because Brave just right here is going to saving a bunch of time. Kane Icebreaker less Ice Palace is kind of slow, and there's half magic on the green pendant. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, the big thing to remember about cross keys is just the idea of it's not, is a runner behind or ahead? Yes. And we can discuss that. Sean is a little bit behind right now, but until a runner hits go mode, it is
You can
very
never
hard
be
to,
sure.
yeah, you cannot be sure in this game. Cross keys is just that kind of mode where a little thing here or there for so long can make a difference. And until Breve hits go mode, finds those last couple of pieces, those 3 pieces we're missing right now, as well as Palace of Darkness. Like, let's not forget, we still
We
don't know
still
where Pod is.
we should have access to it. We have our medallions. No, we don't even know that. We don't have ether. It
We
could
don't
be
have ether
behind
yet.
ether.
But all these little things that we're still looking for, like an ice rod hunt in a cross keys, is very rough. And it's not even just ice rod itself. In many ways, the Meyer big key, the TR big key, and the ice
Are
rod are
just
all
bad.
pseudo ice rods here.
Yeah, they each only unlock about one thing, and because they only unlock one thing, they could be just about anywhere. Uh, Sean is finally going to get Gold Sword almost an hour and 20 minutes after Brave did, which is a somewhat silly sentence in cross keys, but hey, there we go.
So yeah, like, if you watch a lot of cross keys races, what you'll tend to find is a lot of commentators will not talk about the lead as a concrete concept, because it is just that hard to figure out really who has it. We talk more in
Indeed.
terms of advantages.
Like, we can say for sure that Brave got an early advantage with the mirror, uh, and it is putting Sean in a bit of an unfortunate spot, but again, you never know, especially in a mode this complex. Like, it's much more clear cut in our more typical like open modes, for example, because there's just not as much going on. Like, you know roughly what checks they'll do and generally what kind of order they'll do them in. But here, Krause Keys gives you so many routing options you really can't say. There is another TR key for Brave. Key number 2 in King's Tomb. Second TR key, not the most useful of keys, I think.
Yeah, TR really benefits from the idea that you can do how much.
Yeah, because depending on what entrances you find, in this case we've seen all 4, you can do most, if not, you can do most of TR without a single key. Which reminds me that actually we haven't seen the first 3 checks of TR, like from the front, that is. We haven't seen the Fire Rod luck checks or the first chest due to a lack of a key. There's going to be some, so those could be things to keep in mind. If the TR big key could be there, that would be rude. Sean doing a bit of entrance cleanup still.
And it looks like Sean is heading for Desert, so because Desert Main is right here at the tavern, so we are going to see the. Yep, there we go. Sean heading for that hook shot now. Meanwhile, Breve checking the dark bonk rocks behind Link's house, and it is Ice Rod Cave for a small key to Turtle Rock. So not a huge benefit there, but really we are just running out of options for where Pod is.
Yeah, I'm thinking Pyramid Fairy, but the pawn shop, I believe, is all the way up on Death Mountain, so that's a bit of a hike to get up there.
It is. It is on our desert ledge. Or not ledge. It's one of our spectacle rock drop downs.
Yeah, I was going to say it's definitely not Desert Ledge. I was like, what? Here are the front of TR checks I was mentioning. That's going to be useful here. But yeah, Sean finally getting his hook shot. That's good. I'm thinking Pyramid Fairies like really got a good chance. I mean, they don't have many entrances left. Period.
I don't think we've seen King's Tomb still.
No, Breve just checked it. That was
Oh, did we?
the
Okay.
that was a TR small checkerboard.
Okay.
Breve is basically an entrance. Breve is looking for entrances. An Ice Rod, a Meyer Big, and a TR Big is Brave's go mode.
Yeah, and here's the scary part that we're kind of like, the elephant in the room is Pod could be loaded, but we don't even have the ability to do much. I apologize, but we have 2 Pod smalls, and that's the best we've got on Brief's side. Sean's still on 1 Pod small.
Where are they anyway? It's kind of amazing. We're an hour and 45 minutes into a cross key scene. We still only have 2 pod keys out of 6. GT climb is looking like starting to look like a better and better idea, and I think that might be where Brave's going at this point.
Yeah, that and right side of GT, we might see the clear of GT at this point.
I think it's the most check guns place right now for Brave.
Yeah, I think we've got, about 10 items here?
Something like that, yeah. Don't think it'll do tile room right now, but the rest is up for grabs.
Well, I think there's a good chance we do see tile room. I think we're far enough away that we could see tile room first.
That's true, and yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, it is going to do. Okay, proving you wrong. Yeah, we're gonna see tile room just because you're here, I suppose, and this will
Drosty, we have no idea what's in the pyramid. Oh, in the pyramid? That's Lumberjack.
Yep.
So we do know that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, if nothing is in pod, we only need 1 key practically, but logically we need all 6, which is the fun part of where are all these pod keys. There's probably at least 1 or 2 in pod itself at this point.
We did see the tile room of Hera, or the coffee break room. It was nothing.
Nope, I don't remember it, and I did write it down, so yeah. Not it. There's the bow for Sean. And his 4th crystal.
So we are all tied up again in the crystal department.
Yeah. I think Brave climbs.
Yeah.
I think you're missing way too much stuff to not climb.
We do know Pedestal is dead. It was a bottle, and both of our runners have gotten at least 1 bottle at this point. So, yep, no ped. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, we haven't seen Pod, quite literally. Lockenhouse is a problem.
Yeah.
And Meyer is, I don't think Meyer's location. Meyer is actually not too far from here. That might be the next play to go after this.
Yeah, Meyer, Misery Meyer is at the Dark Lake Hylia fortune teller, so there is a chance we see it. Meanwhile, Breve having that GT big key is going to go the rest of the way on right side here.
Does not want to leave that big chest behind. We have seen the top of Skullwood's Shady Force. It's not that. Not Skullwood. The top of Lostwood's brain. Yeah, I don't know when Sean's getting their cane. Powders on ice are most, which isn't helping. I don't. Though they should be getting that here. And Brave is actually going to prove us wrong and not climb. Okay. Just gonna go into Meyer here. Huh. I mean, if they find if they find nothing, they might be back to GT for the climb. They're pretty much right next to each other.
Yeah, I mean, you're right here. Maybe if you find something, you can avoid doing the GT. See the desire to avoid it. GT climb is just a large investment. You know, it's going to be a good 4 minutes for, you know, about the same number of items. So I can see the desire to wait on it and maybe hope that Meyer gives us something instead.
Well, the last bottle ain't it.
Nope.
Here's the big key to Hera for Sean, who doesn't need it. Did eventually Hera pot for that. Pod can be the TR entrance. We haven't seen it. As
Yeah,
it gets the other
unfortunately,
mail, right?
no ether medallion yet.
Nope. And that's Ice Armor's down. Nothing much in Meyer, though.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah. Well, never mind, there's an Ice Rod. Once we finally get the TR big, that'll be a thing to do. And, well, that's our third pod key, I guess.
I mean, it's not unappreciated to have it.
Yeah. Yeah, we have TR main and the Pyramid Fairy, and what other entrances do we have left? There's the TR big. Speaking of...
So Meyer is the TR care package dungeon.
Apparently so. Time to go do that, I guess.
Yes, boots are in the back of Swamp Palace in Diver Down. And
Correct.
Sean is making a climb of GT.
Yeah, no K in this I might make. Probably as part of why, I'd guess.
Yeah, for Sean at this point, this is definitely one of his more dense plays. So I don't hate the idea of doing this. It's just unfortunate. We know where most of our pieces are now at this point. Unless we need ether, you know.
We need the Meyer big, and figuring out where actually the thing is.
And yeah, as Vortex is pointing out, if it's ether for Turtle Rock main entrance for pod, that is big for Sean. Or if it is Meyer big at the top here, that is also a big find. It's very possible Breve does not return for a TR climb for a while.
You mean GT? But yes.
Yes, a climb of a dungeon with stuff.
Split Cave is our fourth pod key, okay.
See, they were all available, just in very weird one-off places.
Yep, go figure. Nice spin speed to get back through here. Just doing a slight detour for this on the way to something else. I'm not sure where they're going right now.
Turtle
We
Rock
are
East here is at the Arrow game.
okay, and yeah, I think that is a bit faster than heading for Graveyard Ledge, which is the laser bridge entrance. Also can check this, which is $300.
Yeah, and we have 3 TR small, so even burning one here on this chest isn't too bad. We have plenty of
Nope.
keys to get through this.
Yeah, Sean needs this to pay out at this point, the GT climb, because he is... That king is gonna hurt. Also, Shadow's having to do these whiz ropes without a cane.
Yeah.
Small key to ice.
No. The way cross keys works is something called fast Ganon, which means that you are not required to beat Aga 2 to beat the seed. Unless Ganon is at the pyramid, we are not required to kill Aga 2.
Yep, Armos exists for Meyer Big. If we ever manage to track down the Ice Palace Big Key, that exists. We've got a few odds and ends left.
But here we go, Breve giving us Trinex for another crystal, while Sean into this GT top. And if you're hoping for Sean to be able to make a comeback on this one, you really need something here.
Well, the 4th TR small is not it. And neither is that Harpies.
Yeah, Ganon is at our Sanctuary drop down.
Yep. Trinex is down. That's a compass, 2 thieves, and a small key to GT. Also not helpful. We're finding everything we don't need at this rate.
Yeah, a lot of extra spare keys. Logical implications, but not really stuff we need. And unfortunately, nothing at the top of GT. But we will see Aga 2, because as we know, Lumberjack dropdown is at the pyramid. So that is an item for Sean. And those bumpers are just bullying him.
Yeah, they are. Alright, let's see how big of a troll Aga 2 is today. Yeah, we could have the player big on the Lumberjack. Where is Brave going?
Um,
I'll check these. I'm sorry, he's checked these entrances yet. Yeah. Brave has had the boots for like a good half hour plus by now. Phase, I think it's been a while.
Yeah, maybe this is Brave kind of going back for entrances that they didn't check.
Yeah. And
oh wow, these are all entrances that Brave has not checked.
Huh, okay. So, just didn't quite get here. I thought they'd done these already, but apparently not. Yeah. Boots at this point don't save Sean for much, I don't think, but that cane on Magic Bat, which isn't its vanilla entrance, is gonna hurt. Alright, what is Lumberjack? Nope.
And, you know, Sean is really running out of options here to kind of close the gap. You know, it's 4 crystals to 5, which isn't unreachable, but it's this is a rough situation for Sean to be in at this point.
Very much is. Brave, by the way, is heading for the bomb shop in case anyone's wondering what they're doing. I think there's probably been casual cross keys races that have ended in a 100% forfeit rate, but at least for a tournament race, you play until your opponent's done.
Yeah, no, and these 2 runners are not at all in a position to look at that kind of option. They're both, you know, they're both just checking off the boxes, and it's just knowing that, like, this entrance, this item is in a bad spot. That's annoying. That's not a good feeling when you're last locating something. But there's almost a bit of, the runners can commiserate about this, going, yeah, at least I know my opponent also has to find this bad item.
Yeah. Sean doing some more loose ends like that potion shop check. Also going to get this big bomb. This is a very, very high chance of being our pod.
Yeah, and to kind of continue what FaZe is saying about the cross keys community in general, we had a recent cross keys tourney, and the turnout
It's not.
was over 170 people, or just about 170 people turned out to be a part of the tourney and compete week in, week out. And yes, we still don't have pod.
There was a pods. No, there was a GT. There was not a pod small in GT climb. There was the fourth TR key. That was it. But yeah, that was 168 people signed up for cross keys, and that was the cap. They had to cap it at 168, which is nuts.
Yeah, they were originally hoping for about 128 people, or
and then they're
64, and then the numbers just kind of exploded this season for cross keys tourney. And there was a huge round robin, or a huge Swiss tournament to get down to the 16 runners for the main cross keys tourney. So yes, the average cross keys performance is just so better than it used to be. It's kind of ridiculous to think about now.
Indeed. Even as it turns out, both of last year's cross keys finalists ended up in the wild card to get 2 brackets in this year's cross keys. It was that competitive.
Yeah.
And only one of only one of last year's finalists actually got 2 brackets. It was that nuts.
Yeah, so
it was a very competitive field.
Yeah, this is just a bad, I'll say bad, but like a difficult seed.
This particular seed is difficult for sure.
Yes.
As we hit the 2-hour mark, Sean's back in Swamp, and Breve is climbing GT. Kane, Boot, and Boots are going to make life a fair bit easier here for Breve. Sean is going to be not happy with the Boots. Okay, so you're the one running the map tracker. Besides the TR entrance, do we have anything else left for pod? I don't think we do that I can remember, but you're doing a better job with it than I am.
No. Yeah, no. I'm looking, and you said we saw King's Tomb. You said we saw the King Tomb's entrance. I've got nothing left.
All right, where's Ether?
We are seriously looking for an Ether medallion.
There's not that many places left for Ether either. I mean, we have... Did we ever see Sick Kid? We've gotten the bottles for him now, but I don't know if we've actually ever seen Sick Kid the check itself. You've got Armos Knight.
Oh yeah, we've got Armos. Yep.
Meyer Big is probably sitting in pod at this point, I think.
That, or it's Meyer Big is on Armos with Ether on Big Chest or Biddy.
Yeah.
Which would be very poetic find locations.
Yeah, okay, and Chad's saying we did see Sick Kid. Alright, thank you. I wasn't sure because the bottles were a spot late. Well, we've seen all of our fetch quests. We know Pet is just our last bottle. We've seen all of GT.
We're still missing an Ice Big. We have seen Spike Cave.
You say we've seen all of our entrances. I know we've seen everything we can do in dungeons besides Armos Knights, basically. Yeah, Arbos Knight.
And that's the thing, you know, both of our runners who are well experienced, well versed in this mode are probably both hitting that moment. They're like, my opponent has to have found it. Like, where is it?
You have to assume in a scene like this that your opponent is ahead of you. His cross keys is such a volatile mode. You never know what route your opponent took. Yeah, Sean's got a bit before he goes for Armos Knight. But yeah, Ice Big and Meyer Big are both highly likely to be sitting in pod at this point. We have very little left. There's a lot of checks in pod once we finally get there. We just can't get there.
Yeah, and for Sean at this point, you know, it's I've got boots finally. I need to start checking boots entrances as well.
Yeah. And that's one of the things is late mirror leading to late hook shot, leading to late back of swamp is meaning that he just hasn't been able to clear entrances as efficiently, so he's having to backtrack for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, our Ice Rod and our TR Big were both inside of Misery Mire.
Yeah. Sean perhaps not going to go there. Kane unfortunately is missing those. He didn't actually lock anything on Trinax at least. This Trinax just had another GT key, which they really don't need. Oh hey, here's this for Sean. Is going to pick up. Oh yeah, this is the Thief Small. It's like I remember writing this down. Looks at my notes sheet. Yep, Thief Small is not really helpful. That is hard container number 18 for Bree. Always a decent indicator in rando is how many health, as far as how much you've cleared, is how many health hearts you have. 18 is a lot.
Yeah, definitely more of a cross keys special. We usually don't get to see this for the regular modes.
No, because in order to get even much more than like 10 or 12 hearts, you have to be picking up a lot of heart pieces on the way, and they have gotten a lot of heart pieces. I don't think they're doing full hearts. They've probably skipped at least one heart piece along the way someplace, but this is going to be close.
But here comes Samaria now for Sean.
That's good. What entrance is Brief going for up here? Do you have any idea?
Skullwoods.
Oh, this makes sense.
Yep. Green pendant and the item off moth. This is definitely the densest play for Breve.
Which is sad when it's 2 checks.
Yeah.
The collection rate is going to be really, really high on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Sean has turned in the green pendant that is half magic. Yeah, this is going to be a collection rate in the 180s, probably, minimum. Or both. I'm going to have skipped like some freestandings, red malos on the Lake Island, for instance. Bugnut on Zoralege has been skipped by both, obviously. Some other odds and ends I just didn't bother getting. But they've got to have really stupidly high collection rates. Sean does not care for finding logic in the form of a pod key.
I mean, Sean could be saying, hey, wait, I do kind of need... But without it, it's kind of like just another, like, kick in the teeth, in a sense.
Yeah. Alright, let's see where Brief goes.
Probably turn in the green pendant. And then maybe we get Eastern?
Eastern is in the library, and there's not much available. Yeah. And they are not fluting. They are heading somewhere. They are heading south. Whoops on the Vonk. Sean going back into TR for some additional checks.
Yeah, the good old backwards TR check for Roller Room, as Breve is into Eastern Palace. As we've said, this is likely one of our go mode items.
This
This
we're
is
having a
either
really hard
Ether
time.
Medallion or a big key we need.
It's either
Or
Ether Medallion, Meyer Big, or
don't
Ice
want
Big.
/ need.
Because we're legitimately really quite stumped on what else is left. It's a chance we've forgotten something, to be fair. Cross keys is cross keys after all, but it's not much. Like, we're thinking this is it. Ice Big on Armors would be fun. It's basically a world's lousiest fetch quest at this point, if it was the Ice Big. Oops, Brave didn't quite manage to actually pick up the key. There we go.
Yeah, that was a little bit rough on the hook shot, unfortunately.
And I think Sean might be off to Meyer now. Or maybe not.
Bombos tablet?
Yep, more mirror lock checks that he couldn't do earlier.
Oh, no, sorry. Front of TR.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, we are looking for Pod. We have not found the Palace of Darkness. We think we know where it is.
We just can't get in.
We know it is the front entrance of Turtle Rock at this point. We just can't get in.
Because Ether is missing. We are also missing 2 pod keys, hilariously, the Ice Big and the Meyer Big. All of which are, at least some amount of those things are probably in TR. And there's a big key to Meyer. Alright.
So I guess we're going back to Meyer.
I guess we are.
Well, and the good news here is as soon as we find Pod, we're in go mode.
It's just that finding Pod is our go mode. Ped is our last bottle, so that ain't it. Yeah, this ended up being oops AD at this rate.
Luckily, we didn't have to kill Aga.
Yeah. So we did end up going to the second chest of Aga Tower for the GT Biggie, which is logically required. Yeah, go modding Pod is pretty nice. We just can't go mode Pod right now. Looking at my notes sheet, we're missing, obviously, Ether. We haven't seen Silvers. I think we're missing the Sewers key. Might be wrong on that.
No, we did get the Sewers key.
Okay, just
we
didn't
got
write
that
it down.
Early.
Alright, then. So yeah, we're missing Silvers, Ether. 2 pod keys are probably both in pod. We're missing 1 Ice Palace key. And the second Agatha key. And
Ice Palace is the back of Desert entrance,
yep.
so.
Meyer Big Chest. Don't think that was anything. As Sean goes for Tile Room. Yeah. Pod has probably just got all of the loose ends we haven't found. We just don't have it.
Yeah, so we're probably not getting Silvers.
No, it's like almost certainly in pod someplace. Unless they're on Helmasaur, then I guess we're getting Silvers. Otherwise, we're not. Silvers and our remaining handful of keys are probably in there. Because they have seen everything else in the game. Not quite full tracker percent. They have both left the Bloomerang behind. I forget where exactly that was, but it was a freestanding. Not quite full tracker percent, but close here for our runners today. Meyer Big VXR was on Armos Nights. Last location.
Yeah, and unfortunately, just with all the last locations that were kind of gonna come up in this seed, it just hasn't opened up things for Sean to make the comeback at all. It's just,
go here, do this. You go there, do that, and
yep. Like Sean has chased the density of what he had left at all times, and those were good decisions. They just weren't the right decisions in this case.
no, unfortunately.
And there's Ether.
Yep, as expected.
So unless we have been completely bamboozled on this one and somehow missed an entrance elsewhere, that should be go mode for Breathe.
It should be, yeah. Yeah, and Sean is going to get Ice Rod in the map chest of Meyer. Is what I wrote it down as. Yeah, back up the mountain in a Brave. Where are they currently going? Is it actually?
So the connector at the front of Hyrule Castle the front of Hyrule Castle entrance is a connector to the top of the mountain.
Oh, convenient. Yeah, that's faster than fluting and running all the way up. There's a TR Big for Sean. If we somehow manage to lose an entrance, that would be hilarious. I don't think we have, but it would be funny.
No, and that's the thing. Our runners, one of the great things about cross keys, or one of the big things that is important about this mode, is really getting used to the idea of tracking and understanding how best to do it. So our runners have really, they've got their trackers in front of them. They're marking off entrance after entrance as they check it. So they know roughly what they have and have not found yet. And there's the Ice Rod for Sean.
But yeah, correct. In a mode this complicated, you need pretty much. It is extremely difficult unless you have a very, very good memory to do cross keys without notes of some type. Because otherwise, good luck keeping track of what entrances you've seen and haven't seen yet.
And
here it is.
At 2 hours and 15 minutes and 40 to 50 seconds, we are confirmed go mode. We know where our last entrance is. Let's go.
Wahoo!
And honestly, I know some of our chat is saying, hey, this was a really rough seed. You can look at this and go, yeah, it was rough to find the last but in the grand scheme of things, a 2 hour 20-minute seed probably right now, looking on Brev's side, is not bad. It's really a decent time overall.
Fairly average time, yeah, 220-ish is particularly unusual for cross keys.
We've had some nice mobility options throughout that have helped in even some of the worst cases for this seed.
Mirror, boots, hookshot even helps with movement. And the flute early was big too. Didn't have to bunny walk much, which helps a lot, honestly, with cross keys.
Yeah, and even with Sean kind of having a bit of a go with that hookshot and mirror, not far behind. Like even Sean's time in this seed will be right around that 2.5 hour mark, I would say.
Probably, because he's about to finish, well, it's 2 hours 17 and he's about to do try next. This will be fairly quick. Has to beat Armos Nights. TR's pretty quick, and then Pod is really fast. Well, really fast for Pod. Still have to run through a bunch of rooms, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, go mode Pod's not terrible.
Especially when they're on, 17 hearts, blue mail. In the green mail for Sean, yeah, 17 hearts, butter sword, everything. It's not bad.
And down goes the Helma.
Which item is this?
Are we getting silvers?
Yep!
Oh my god, we got silvers! Unfortunately, Bree only has 2 arrows.
Yeah, that's funny, actually. I mean, 2 arrows is more than 0 arrows.
We have a shovel. Maybe we dig up some arrows. I don't know.
I don't think, yeah, because I don't actually know where he might be able to get arrows, even. Or they might be able to get arrows.
Pulling out the shovel, maybe? No? Okay. I thought
Where
maybe
are
we
they?
tried... we're going to Ganon. We're just
Alright,
going
this
to do
is Ganon,
silverless. Or at least half a silvers.
Yep. Hope they aim correctly. I mean, it is Butter Sword. 18 hearts, blue mail, and a couple potions, they're fine. Where is Sean going right now?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Oh,
Oh yeah,
checking for
this.
entrances.
Makes sense. Doesn't know it's down to TR. Yeah. The amount of time it would have taken to actually go remember where an arrow shop is to get arrows is not worth it. To dig for arrows or whichever else it may be. So would it... Yeah, 2 for silvers equals 6 spins on Butter Sword. Oh no, silver is my one weakness. Yeah, thanks. Nice torch glitch. Ooh, that's a fall on Ganon though. Youch. That feels bad.
Unfortunate. I mean, at this point, Breve has just such a commanding lead. It's not a big deal. Just, it's not a good feeling.
No, it is not. Because we know that they are well ahead of Sean, but they don't know that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Sean's down to those last locations and saying, which one do I want to hit? 2 items in Hera feels better than any of the others at this point. We just know it's not the answer.
No.
But Breve getting back into phase 4 now. Gonna make sure to get the torch glitch. And are we just gonna get spins the whole time? Maybe.
We might be. Oh. Okay, that's 1 arrow. And that's 2. And back to spins.
And there we go. So half and half. 2 arrows for 6 of the spins and 6 spins to finish the rest of the way. Get your GGs in chat for Breve, and in Rod we trust. Just has that 1x3 bridge to cross and take this race. There we go.
Finishing.
Breve, yep, with an official race time of 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 40 seconds. Once again, this ties up the series between Swordbeam Club and In Rod We Trust at 1 game apiece now. So this is a best of 5 series. So that does mean we will see at least a game 4 between these 2 teams.
Correct.
And Sean is going to continue to race through. So He is about to get his Meyer Big, though, which will lead him to Ether and eventually Pod.
Yep. GG's to Brave. Don't know if they'll come in for an interview. Looks like the only other match on the schedule between these teams is Sunday at 1:40 p.m. Eastern between Sin2324 and Irritable Twin. Hard MC Shuffle is the mode, it looks like.
Yeah, the way the playoffs will work is a mode is not, or the first 3 games are definitely scheduled and can be in any order. Game 4 is not available to be scheduled until at least a 1-1 is, until at least both teams get a win. So since that has happened, Game 4 is now a possibility, as I do believe we have been joined by Breve. GG's.
GG.
Games next.
So how about that seed? That was a long one.
Yeah, it was the it's always like that, isn't it? And like the first half hour was just insane. I was like, I mean, it's like 50 things I can do. I can do so much stuff, and I was like just running around. And then yeah, of course, you end up absolutely last location in go mode to chain in a seed like that.
And honestly, I to say last location, I mean, I don't know how you don't in this seed. Between pod entrance and the Meyer Big Key, I don't see how you don't have those as being 2 last locations.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, said to myself, like when I saw that Eastern was a pendant, I was like, okay, great, I have permission to just go in and get everything and never worry about Armos.
Yeah. Speaking of Armos, Sean just finishing those off on Restream. But yeah, because you there's no way you don't end up in Eastern at some point in the early bid game, getting your hammer and whatnot, and then you just orphan Armos Knights till the end of the game, and well, you orphan Armos Knights.
Yeah, and I'm actually struggling to remember where the bow was now, but I think it was Moldorm. Okay. Well, I don't remember. It's all so much of a blur. I don't remember.
Yeah, at this point, I completely understand.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the second bow was bow locked, so like it could definitely have been a required double dip of Eastern. But yeah, even so, I think like yeah, it's hard not to last location that. Yeah.
Sure.
That's my diamond fight.
Now, of course, the big thing is this does tie up the series, which out 1 game apiece. So I'm sure that's a minor sigh of relief for your team to get this back into a fresh series, best of 3 now. So
yeah, it's nice. Yeah, yeah, because some hope going forward. Yeah, so we'll get at least 4 games out of this, and then maybe we'll get the fabled co-op reactions. I was
gonna say everybody's been really interested to see if we get that mode during this tournament. So I have to assume you are your team's cross keys player, so I would assume there's a good chance you are one of the anticipated runners for a potential game 5.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm not actually sure which of my other 2 teammates would prefer or dislike at least to do it. I'm kind of interested to try it. Like, I mean, I love entrance and really like the co-op stuff, but I still don't know the logistics of it. Like, just screen space, I don't know.
I'll be honest, I'm having the same thoughts in my head as a cross keys player. There's just that you like that bubble that you have when you're the sole cross keys player of just like, I've got my map tracker, I've got what's in my head.
Yeah.
And I just need to keep that portion of me centered during this. I think is the best way to put it. So no, I completely understand your point.
So yeah, I imagine I'll be playing that till it comes to game 5, and yeah, we'll just see how the next couple of games go. Yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm glad I got back to a mode I'm comfortable with. Like the Randomizer week, I was very out of my comfort zone, so this was a bit nicer, even though the seed was under the seed.
Yeah, this was quite the seed. You and Sean are both going to finish this on 18 hearts, which is saying something about how much you did. I'm curious to see what your collection rate's going to be, because it's got to be ridiculous.
I mean, I can tell you mine now, but I guess you can just wait for the delay. So.
It won't
Well,
be all that long.
and
We
as
have
you
like
said,
almost every single item clicked off on the tracker too.
Well, I didn't
your
clear
two
pot.
teams are coming off of just playing each other for week 7, so
Yeah.
this is, the two teams are getting very familiar with each other very quickly.
Yeah, it's funny how that worked out. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool that like the matches got like lined up at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. So
Sean has taken down Vitreous for that to the
so
Rock entrance now.
what we think was the big difference, like one of the big things for Sean in this race, Breve, he did get hammer a lot earlier than you did, but he missed his mirror for over an hour.
Right, yeah.
And which really hurt, didn't get hook shot, didn't get Desert Big, didn't get hook shot, ended up getting boots. Had a much less efficient entrance clearing was a huge one as well for that pod. And that ended up being the big difference between you two in this race, was just that lack of a mirror for so long.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah, I had that like super early because I think I had that before Pearl, and then I got Pearl, and I was just like, okay, and just follow every connector now. And,
I got here about 5 minutes into the restream, and you getting mirror was basically the first thing I saw.
Right.
So it was like right off the bat, which really helped you a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. One thing I wasn't happy with is that like I kept thinking like I can put off CAC and do that with Village of Outcasts, but it was kind of pointless because I had a saving quick point in CAC anyway. Like, and I went through the castle connector like a bunch of times, and there was just like if I'd just gone a little bit further, there was a desert entrance in CAC that would have taken me to Village of Outcasts. So, but I still felt like probably getting Mirror and Peril really early and just being able to clear out most of the Dark World is fine. Oh, it was. I liked how I got like had Mirror and Peril before any bombs and like got my first bombs back. Power back to cave.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. You just kept finding entrances, being told, yeah, you want to, but you can't.
Yeah.
You were good about getting back to those entrances with bombs, because it is a thing that's easy to do, is to just leave a check behind it and forget all about it for ages.
Yeah. I mean, Flute as well early on made it like pretty easy to clean things up.
Oh yeah, this was still a fast seed, even though you guys 100%ed it.
Yeah.
Boots, Flute, and that mirror helped a lot.
And looking at that CR 188, people might say, how are we still so low? And it's really just we didn't have to do any of pod.
Yeah.
That's honestly it.
Yeah, if I feel cleared pod, that's a 200.
Yep. We were debating like the possibility of the Ice Palace Big Key turning up and being the world's worst fetch quest.
Yeah, so was I. I mean, I guess if it turned up like on Armos or whatever, it would have just been like, okay, fine, because there was nothing else to do. But I was really worried that it would like turn up before I climbed GT or something. But, I mean, I guess, I didn't have to climb GT, but I think it was probably the best thing. It was basically that or Armos or Mothula at the time when I did it.
Your options were bad.
And unfortunately for both of you, darkness, and at 0 arrows, you were able to get done pod and still have 2 arrows left for Ganon. Going from Armos to Vidi to pod does not help for an arrow count to utilize that resource at the end.
Yeah, I almost picked up that other pot in the back of pod, and I was like, I probably won't get silver. Yeah, that was kind of funny. And then I guess I'll blame my Ganon fall on that. I was like trying to work out the logistics of, do I start with some spins and then do the silvers and then do more spins, and then just walked right off the edge.
Yeah, that felt bad. It's like, did you feel like behind it all, or how did you feel about where Sean might have been? Because this was that kind of scene.
Yeah, I mean, when you're like full clearing everything, I definitely didn't feel ahead. I was like, at best, like, Sean's going to be kind of close behind me. So, yeah, I definitely was very worried. And like, I lost one of my SGL games by falling on cannon. Like, yeah, I hadn't lost then, and then I went back and finished the fight, and I had lost. And so I did, like, at that point, I was like, yeah, very worried about that same thing happening again. Yeah, I think for the first hour or so of the seed, I didn't feel too bad, and then just as like you start running low on locations, like it's very difficult to feel good. I think so. I was pretty worried.
And Sean is actually going back in a pod to get some arrows now.
I mean, I thought about it, but there are there, like, I don't know if there's any like near the front unless you go like right side.
Yeah, he went right side for mimics.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I was wondering if, either of you had decided to pull out that shovel for, to dig for a few arrows. So
Yeah, I thought about that as well. And just, yeah, I could have, I guess.
No, and I completely understand it at that point. As you said, you feel like you're behind potentially just because of how rude the seed was, and you just, you have to go. There's not time to dig for a few arrows.
Yeah. Because who knows how long it would take. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could have tried like freezing an enemy with the ice rod and see if that prize pack was arrows.
Well, we did find, you did find out that we had a great stun prize for this race with the fairies.
Yeah, that was like actually almost so useful for Ice Armos with no bow.
Yeah, when you were coming up on Ice Armos, I was a little worried myself. I was 3 hearts or whatever, and then you get the stun prize and it's a fairy, and it's like, okay, we're fine, we're good.
Yeah, like I remembered it was a fairy because I had checked it earlier, and like I wanted to get beams, but like I stunned both of those beetles and slashed them, and they just fell off the edge. So I didn't get one fairy, but then like Gold Sword is like perfectly fine for Ice Armos anyway. Like as long as you can. Yeah, if I was on 3 hearts, I would have been a bit worried, like sliding into him. But, slash them.
But Sean, heading into phase 4 of Ganon, should be clearing this up momentarily. We'll see if we can get Sean in here for at least a little bit of an done for today.
Yep.
And there we go. That is the 4th silver arrow into Ganon for Sean. Just going to have to cross that bridge, get the GGs in chat for Sean Rhapsody and Swordbeam Club.
Yep. Sean gonna finish up with an official time of 2:36:17. GGs.
Yes.
So yeah, once again, this does tie up our series at 1 game apiece. Game 3 is currently on the schedule. I believe, Star, you said that was what, Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday, 1:40 Eastern, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, Game 4 could be played before then because we do know it played. I know the joke has been the difficulty scheduling because of the cross-continental play here, or not cross-continental, cross and ocean play between the two teams, and just the time zones being very difficult here. So, but
that's how it be sometimes.
Yeah, we are now joined by Sean Rhapsody. GG.
GG's.
GG.
More unbreathed than mine, but
what a seed.
It was something alright.
Yeah, what did you think of it overall?
It went left when I should have gone right, I guess.
Yeah.
That'd be random. Especially random.
Yep, that was the thing. I think both of you really did check every location before getting that mine.
Yep. It's literal last location for both of you. It's how you got there that was the difference.
That bow was so deep in everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ugh.
It was like getting to the point where I was like, do I need to go back and check the TR medallion? Like, did I mismark that? And it was actually Quake or something. Like, there's no way Ether is locking pod with 14 chests and the Mire, and probably the Mire big keys just in there, and I can't find anything. But
I think the only thing I didn't, other than obviously nothing in pod, I think the only thing I didn't check was cutscene in Mire.
Mm-hmm. I actually even wrote down what that was. It was some variety of not useful.
Oh,
so
was that? I think
got
Blue mail.
Ice Rod
Yeah,
and
yeah.
TR Big
Yeah, that was-
failed.
Yeah.
I was actually really worried that Myra would bite me because I didn't dip it until, well, really late.
I mean, both of you did the same there,
Pretty
so
much.
Yeah, because there was no fire source for so long going about it, but then I was very worried that it could have been something. It was just the ice rod.
But yeah, I mean, interesting race. You know, if you get a chance to watch it back, great play on both sides. Unfortunately for Sean, right side. GG's to both of you. Congrats to Bree for evening up the series. And hopefully this series continues to be really great.
Yeah, GG's to you both. Good luck to your teams continuing in this week.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Any last words about the seed or anything before we shop today?
No, not really.
Yeah, no,
But
really,
thanks to you guys for putting it on the stream and everything.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, thanks so much. Thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, make sure to follow our runners, Sean Rhapsody. Twitch links have been posted in the chat. Big shout outs to our trackers today, Dark and Akuhaish, for hitting all the buttons on everything. Keep up there and know what was happening. Shout outs to Star for joining on the comms today. Really makes life better to have a co-com for cross keys.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you for holding down the fort until I got here as well, and providing the more knowledge than I can ever provide to customers.
Now, in terms of the schedule for the rest of today, we do have quite a few races still to go. In terms of Open League for the rest of today, the races will be on the ALTTPR League channels. 7:10 p.m. tonight, we have JKLOL versus Rando Babies. That is Leoria versus Mr. Aaron Snurd in casual boots. That'll be on the ALTTPR League. At 8:40 p.m., Dante made us join versus Kakariko Brew Crew, Lilithen versus Will WC. That is a cross keys matchup. That'll be on the ALTTPR League 2. And then finally at 11:10 p.m. Eastern, we have a second game in that JKLOL Rando where Kaysden will face off with Norse Kamadi, and that will also be on the ALTTPR League. They are playing in Varosha tonight, so definitely be sure to check out those races. As we said, Open League, what we are playing for is a spot in next season's Invitational. So every race has that meaning to try and make our way into there. So do make sure to support all the runners, all staff helping out today, and of course, plenty of racing or speed gaming content here on all the speed gaming networks. But I am Radical Sniper 99, and we are going to be calling it a day here for this race. Thank you again for watching.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you next time.